Serena Buffalino. I am the founder of Help Heal Humanity. My career started off as a special education teacher. When my students found out that there were kids in this world that did not have the right to go to school, inspired them. The concept behind the Haiti School Building Project was a small handful of youth in Toronto would help a small handful of youth here in Haiti. The Haiti School Building Project finally opened up last year, September 2018. It has successfully been running for 7 months now, and what I have seen is nothing shy of beautiful. One person with the support of others can literally transform the planet.
My body becomes like a cement. Oh my God.
That was the better one.
Okay. Oh my God. It's like magic. Literally like magic.
As a business owner, do you understand your profit and loss statement and how to monetize it? I recently had a very timely conversation with Michael James, head of Noggin Finance and Noggin Branding, as we discussed my upcoming masterclass, 7 Essential Financial Elements Every Business Owner Needs to Know and Understand, that helps business owners know how to monetize their profit and loss statement. Hi, I'm Regina Bergman, host of Pursuing Profit with Principles. Some days the tongue doesn't work the way it should, folks. I always come away from conversations with Michael with an even greater level of respect for him and what he's doing in the world. Michael is the founder of the world's largest worldwide consumer and commercial lender network. So I want to share a bit of that interview with you. Let me cue that up here. And let's watch this interview with Michael. Let me get to the right interview. That was the wrong one. Let's go here and just 1 second. All right, so I'm going to share Michael's video, share my screen with you to share Michael's video and share sound. And we're gonna optimize for there we go. And here we go. Enjoy listening to this financial wizard. You're going to love it. I always enjoy this, and it's such a delight for me to be able to share your expertise with our group. And today we are having we're sharing this today with a group that is coming together to learn how to monetize their profit and loss statement. Mm-hmm. And then another group that will be delving into a 5-day challenge of how they create more profitability in their business. And so your expertise, I think, is just a perfect match for both of these groups. And so we really wanted to bring you in and share a bit about what you do and also about how important it is to have these funding resources, both for yourself and your clients. So I'm just going to let you take it away, and I'll be here. And you know, if I've got questions, I'll pop in. How's that?
That sounds great. I really appreciate the opportunity today, Regina. And it's always an honor to be a guest of yours and to be able to share and educate in any way possible. That is
Thank
why
you.
I've gotten into business and been able to, I guess, have the network that I have. It's based on who I am and what I provide, but it's really the network and what they provide. So I kind of look at this from the 30,000-foot airplane seat where I'm right in the seat and I'm like, who are the other passengers on the plane with me?
Oh, nice. I like that analogy.
Where are we going? Who's on that
Right.
team?
Yes.
And so for me, starting this about 11 years ago now, I started with marketing and branding and then getting into advertising. And for me, with the marketing and small business entrepreneurship, for me, it was always trying to automate my life to make it as easy as possible. Now, whether you're a landscaper, a dentist, you're, a Saturday market, flower shop, whatever you're doing, or you're a multinational networking bank, whatever that looks like for you, it is looking in your P&L statement, your profit and loss statement. It's working with your accountant, if you have a strategist or you're the strategist, but it's looking at what's working for your business. And it's always being willing to accommodate those new opportunities or things that might be costing you time and money.
Yes.
So the P&L statement's great. It's then also looking at the business financials. It's then also looking at the business performance. So maybe you have like Google Analytics. Maybe you have Facebook Analytics on your Facebook page, Instagram Insights, Twitter Insights, whatever you've got going, relate it to the P&L statement. Month by month, week by week, you're going to see what ads, what marketing, what business services you're promoting that's going to help that P&L statement month by month or year over year.
Right.
So as a small business person myself, I am always looking at what are some ways that I can help make my life easier in the marketing regard. So it's how can I block time, blocks of time so I can work on the clients. I have a block of time to work on sales. I have a block of time to work on my marketing outside of sales, because that's a very different channel.
Yes.
Then I have time to work on my strategy and marketing, as well as my financials, my P&L statement.
Very good.
It's seeing what works.
Yeah.
And so over the last 10 years with Noggin Branding, I've been able to help businesses with their marketing, their advertising, as well as checking into the P&L statements to see what's working and what's not. But over the last 4 years, Regina, what I've really done is, while working in these small businesses, working with different entrepreneurs and all of their staff, it's looking at the P&L statement, but then saying, do you guys need personal loans? Do you need personal or consumer financing? Do you guys need business loans or commercial financing? The P&L statement really taps into what's costing the business, what's making the business money, how the staff are performing. There's a lot of things coming into that document. And that one document leads to 5 or 10 others, depending on the business structure. So for me, when I'm interacting with any business, any client, looking at any sort of financials, it's seeing whether they've been doing this for a year, 5 years, 10 years, and then coming into what they want to be doing. Do they need maybe accounts receivable because they have 10 vendors and their services and products are taking more time because of the supply chain currently? Maybe the wood costs more, maybe the concrete, maybe the dental implants, maybe the whatever that is. Maybe those are more expensive now. It takes 2 weeks instead of 2 days. It takes a month instead of a week. Whatever those things have changed. And so businesses have to accommodate. They maybe have to have a payroll loan now because staff are not in the office anymore. They're working remote. Maybe they have some on contract. Maybe some are subcontractors. Maybe some are full-time employees. So businesses are constantly changing what's working and what's not for them.
And that's where that P&L comes in so critically, that review of it and understanding what it's telling you.
Mm-hmm. It leads to so many things. I mean,
Exactly.
it's almost like someone walking in your door and saying, this is what they bought almost. I mean,
Yeah.
you relate that to the marketing realm and the financial, and you start to paint a pretty interesting picture. And you get to understand your customers, your maybe future customers, and you are able to then position the business with the service, the products, and as well as the offering to a different crowd. You know who's buying it right now. Again,
Right.
what's working, what's not.
Right.
But then it's like, what's next year look like? Pandemic or not?
Right.
What's that look like? We remember what 3 years looked like ago, but how could we get back to that? Maybe they're even doing better than that. Most of my clients, they're working with me, they're doing better than the pandemic.
That's awesome.
Who would have thought that?
Right.
So for now, it's looking at what's working in that P&L. It's strategizing with your team or yourself. Where do you want to go? How can I reduce some cost? How can I speed up, make 10%, 20, 50%, 100% more month over month?
Right.
In time. Right?
Absolutely.
So for me, as I was building the businesses, working with our clients and our network, it was then finding out the partners in the plane ride, who's going to be the consumer financer, who's going to be the business financer. And for us, say that 100 people walk into a bank, nationally, 80% are denied. We are catching the 80% that are denied, and we're accommodating them with financing products.
Nice. Very nice.
So on also outside of the banking stat, there's also a small business stat that say 90% of small businesses never even apply for consumer or business financing.
Yes.
And here's why. The 10% that usually applies, half of them get it, half don't.
Right.
Guess what happens when the 5% don't? They go online, they tell everybody, didn't get funding, and then they're upset.
Right.
And they tell 10 people.
Yep.
So for us, we're trying to catch the 1 to 80, accommodate them so they're able to go out in their community, help their employees, help their business, help their services, help their products.
I think that's so important to look at that ripple effect. I mean, it's huge. The amount of people that are impacted with the success of a business or the failure of a business.
It's huge.
So
think of it then into your community as well. Think of those 3 employees, those 30 employees, those 300 employees. Where are they going to go next week?
Yeah. And I like to look at that, it affects that business and the family of that business. It affects then every employee and their family, the community, the region, the state. I mean, it really goes worldwide. There's no stop to the influence of those successes or failures.
Yep. So for us, we've tried to come in as that resource to catch and accommodate, but also be the ongoing resource. So they call and say, hey, I need this. I need a personal, I need a business, I need a something, and we can accommodate that. Our barrier of entry is much lower.
Right. So you've put together a network of people that finance this, and that's not just here in the States, but worldwide.
We're in 180
Talk to us a little bit about that. 180 countries. Wow.
Yep. So I'll be very honest, Regina, as I was building the consumer and the commercial financing network, I was calling these partners and saying, hey, this is what I want to do. And then they were asking me, and they're like, so what exactly are you trying to do here? And I thought, oh, well, if they're asking me these questions, then that means there's not many people doing what I'm trying to do.
Exactly.
So I tried to build the accordion, Regina.
Okay.
Me going as a small business owner, I know they're small, medium, and large.
Right.
And I know that as banks, they're denying, let's say 80% of what they're not able to accommodate.
Right.
I'm going to need a pretty big glove to catch it all. So who wants to work with me? I'm not the lender. I'm not the one vetting and going through the financials. I'm a sales guy. So I've built a network to go out and accommodate the consumer financing and loans, the commercial financing and loans.
Right.
Inside of that, there's about 20 to 25 products per consumer, per commercial. And again, the lenders make a big difference in the amounts, the terms, and the rates attached to that. So if I personally go walk into the bank that I've been banking with for 10 years and I go ask for a $500,000 business loan, I might get a 2-year term with rates of 12 or 15%.
Right.
But if I do it through my network, I might be able to ask for more, maybe say 750, but I get a 10% interest, but I get a longer term, 3 years, 5 years to pay the thing off.
Wow.
What an opportunity.
Yes, what an opportunity. So is there a process that someone can then apply once and it goes to multiple lenders to see who wants it?
Yep. So you go on our Noggin Finance website, the 2 forms that are on there go directly to me, and then we find the best partners to vet it to.
Awesome. Okay.
The form does 80%, but
right.
Me and my other operations manager, we go through that very fine-tooth combed. And we usually send it to 1 to 3 lenders to start the conversation. If they get through the door, great. If not, we have a network of others. But usually to keep it pretty simple, it's 1 to 3 lenders to start.
Right.
But I have 1,500 lenders. So for me, it's keeping the funnels happy and sharing the business with all of the lenders.
Right. Not sending it all to one party. Wow. You can see why I enjoy so much interacting with Michael, and his knowledge base in this arena is just tremendous. So as you heard, we talked a lot about profit and loss statements, right? And I'd like to spend a little bit of time with you on that today, because I know a lot of business owners just kind of glaze over when we start talking numbers and we start talking math and we start talking profit and loss statements. Because we didn't start out as business owners. We started out, for the most part, entrepreneurs, small business owners, started off with a passion, with a skill set that we felt we could make a difference with. So as a result, we don't necessarily understand that P&L statement. And more importantly, we don't understand how to monetize it. And yes, I did say monetize it. That may be a new term for you, to monetize your P&L statement. But let's talk about that a little bit. So first of all, how do you know if your numbers on your P&L are good, bad, or average? And that's a tremendously important question. Let's consider the word average for just a moment. Average means that 50% are better than that and 50% are worse than that, right? So if you're having financial issues in your business, then there's a good chance that you're in that below average group. So let's determine where your business falls on that average scale, above or below. And once you know that, then you can look at hidden wealth currently in your business. Now, since we know that 50% of all businesses fall below their industry average by their gross profit, or for their gross profit margin, we need to determine, again, where you fall in relation to your gross profit percentage. And that's one of the things that I walk folks through. Quick question. Do you know the lifetime value of profit for your average client? And do you know how that plays into your budget for advertising and marketing? So typically, what's the first area most of us turn to when we want to increase revenue and profits? We turn to ads, advertising, and marketing, right? And do you know that marketing is seldom the answer when you need to increase revenue and profits? And yet, again, typically that's the first thing that business owners go for. it doesn't always work. So first we need to implement some other things, then work to increase revenue through a marketing campaign. Now, I want to share with you a few slides here that will help me demonstrate some of this to you. So let me get this ready for you. And then we will share screen again. And here we go. Now, this is an example of the basics of a profit and loss or P&L statement. It covers these basic categories, and then there are sub-elements beneath them, and I'm going to demonstrate to you a little bit of what that is. But first we look at our gross revenue. What's your income? How many sales? What's the sales volume for your business? Now, COGS, or cost of goods sold, is something you may or may not be familiar with. I'll give you a further definition of that in a moment, but that's variable costs in your business that are associated with a sale. And then there's gross profit. That's what's left after you pay these variable costs, and that covers your overhead. And then an important number is our gross profit percentage, and I've got a formula for you here to calculate that. And then we look at overhead. That's our fixed costs. And then our net income. When we subtract our overhead from our gross profit, what's left? And what percentage is that of our revenue? That should be fairly clear. Don't glaze over on me, okay? If math isn't your thing or these numbers isn't your thing, I'm going to try and simplify this as much as I can for you. So I want to just show you quickly an example of a business that's doing $300,000 in revenue. And their cost of goods sold is $180,000, leaving them $120,000 for their overhead, right? So it also, by that formula that was on the previous page, we can calculate that their gross profit margin is 40% of their revenue. When we subtract our overhead of $60,000 from our $120,000 gross profit, we wind up with a net profit of $60,000, which is 20% of our $300,000, right? Are you with me so far? Hopefully everybody's with me here. Whoops, I've got the wrong document up here. Give me just a second here to get to my slides. Okay, so I want to make sure that I'm taking you to the right slides. Okay, now these three areas that are highlighted in red are the only three areas that you can really impact. You can increase revenue, you can decrease cost of goods sold, and you can decrease overhead. Everything else is a calculation based on those three numbers. So those are the only ones that you can really make an impact in. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you. Now let's take a look. Let's see, I want to go here to COGS to help you understand COGS. So these are the costs incurred to deliver on your contract of sale. Let me give you an example. I owned a staffing firm for about 12 and a half years. The payroll that we paid to those employees that we placed with our clients was a cost of goods sold. Because if I didn't sell that labor to that client, if I didn't put that person to work for that client, I didn't have payroll, right? I didn't have payroll on that person. It was a cost of the goods, which was that employee, that were sold to that client, okay? Cost of goods sold. So it only comes up when you have sale, right? Whoops, let's go back one. So some of the things, labor, direct or contractual labor, that's what mine was contractual labor. Materials, scrap and reworks, packaging, distribution and shipping, sales commissions, those all come into COGS. Overhead, your fixed costs. And by the way, those COGS are often called variable costs as well, because they vary based on, they are part of a sale. Overhead or fixed costs include things like your mortgage or your rent, insurance, utilities, office supplies. You can see the list goes on here. So what if you were able to make a very minimal impact on the three areas that I told you you can impact, right? Which were revenue, COGS, and overhead. What if we were able to increase your revenue by 5%, decrease your cost of goods sold by 5%, and decrease your overhead by 5%? Would you believe me if I told you that in this example, this company, we could actually make a $27,000 impact on your bottom line, on your net profit? You'd go from $60,000 in net profit to $87,000 in net profit. And folks, look at this. That is a 45% increase in profits. 45% by doing small incremental improvements only in those 3 areas. So, is your mind blown? Are you thinking now about, wow, what could I do in my business if I made a 5% improvement in those 3 areas? What would that look like in my business? How much of my revenue could I actually put in my pocket? That's the kind of stuff we're going to be talking about in this masterclass that I'm doing later today. It's at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. And again, it's called 7 Essential Financial Elements Every Business Owner Needs to Know and Understand. And we're going to cover all of this in that class. So if you're interested at all in more information on it, wherever you see this, put a note in the comments. Let us know. There'll be links on Facebook and YouTube, and this will also be seen on Roku and other areas. So let's go have fun and figure out how much money we can make in your business. I'm Regina Bergman, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye for now.
Yeah, if you think you're gonna do it in your own strength, then you know what? Yeah, you can't do it.
COVID, it's been helping people move their businesses from offline or brick and mortar to online.
Systems are more important than skills as an entrepreneur today.
It's totally okay to reinvent yourself.
Yes.
Multiple times, especially when you're an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Profitable Coaching Conversations with WendyY Bailey. If you're a coach, speaker, or industry expert, you're in the right place for sales and marketing wisdom and insight to grow your coaching business. Now, here's your host, Income Acceleration Mentor, WendyY Bailey.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with WendyY Bailey. I am indeed WendyY Bailey, and I'm excited to be here today. It's an unusual day for us. It's Friday instead of Thursday, but I wanted to be sure that I came to you this week, and yesterday was just one of those days I couldn't get here. So I'm glad to be here today. The Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with WendyY Bailey is part of a larger brand. It's called Profitable Coaching Conversations. And as part of that brand, I have the Profitable Coaching Society, which is on Facebook. I also have the Profitable Coaching Club. You can join profitablecoachingsociety.com on Facebook. It's a growing community of coaches and other transformation experts who are there to connect and collaborate and support each other and get content from me and other people who can add value in the group. I also am the creator of the Profitable Coaching Club. Profitable Coaching Club. I'm trying to find my logo. There we go. Profitable Coaching Club is a membership group on Clubhouse. And every week there are probably about 4 rooms that I do every week. And I call them training rooms because I'm there and I'm sharing content. I'm coaching people. I'm answering questions from people who are in the listening lounge, so to speak. So if you're not a member of the Profitable Coaching Club on Clubhouse, be sure to go to profitablecoachingclub.com. It'll direct you to our club, which has more than 1.2 thousand members. So it's growing every single day. And they've grown accustomed to getting content, information, support, education, knowledge to grow their coaching business. So if you're in that mode and you want to grow your coaching business, if you're on Clubhouse, join us. It's no cost training. On Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, I actually assemble a panel of people who can talk about their experiences and how they've grown their coaching businesses and what they've done to be in the marketplace. And so Profitable Coaching Club. Now coming up, this is a little bit of a tease, a little bit of an announcement as well. I've opened the club up for leaders within the club who will also be hosting rooms. So far, I have leaders who are talking about trauma, who are talking about sleep and how you can respect sleep. I have leaders that are talking about social media and visibility, and I have leaders who are talking about marriage and relationships. And I also have leaders who are going to be part of it, talking about growing your coaching business using sort of lifestyle management. So those are the people so far who will be leaders in the Profitable Coaching Club, and they will be hosting rooms as well. So if you're here and you would like to become a part of the Profitable Coaching Club, go to profitablecoachingclub.com. So let's jump into our topic for today. Today, I'm talking about how to create consistency that sells. How to create consistency that sells. I get asked this question a lot, and I answer it a couple of different ways. In a previous episode of the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show, I actually talked about creating consistency and what it looks like there. This is a little different, but if you want more content on consistency and other things, you can go to profitablecoachingconversations.com and you can download, you can listen, you can watch on your favorite audio platform. You can do all of that. So go to profitablecoachingconversations.com for all of that. Now, I also want to tease a little bit. I have an upcoming course. It's actually a year-long program that I'm going to be sharing details about. And it is part of the Profitable Coaching Conversations brand as well. So there's a lot happening with this brand, this flagship brand as part of my business. But let's jump into how to create consistency that sells. The first thing you need to know about consistency that sells, consistency is personal. And what I mean by that is you get to choose what consistency looks like for you. It's not based on what you see other people in the marketplace doing. It's because you have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. Okay. You have no idea how they're able to do what they're able to do. It's based on your lifestyle. It's based on your business. It's based on how you structure your business. So consistency means different things to different people. And because of that, I want you to understand that consistency is personal. It's a personal choice. It's by personal design. And so you get to be as creative as you'd like to do it. When I first started the Profitable Coaching Club, I was doing Monday through Thursday, a room Monday through Thursday, every single day. And I couldn't sustain it, right? That I thought was consistency. But what I realized very quickly was sustaining it over like a period of time. I think I did it for 3 weeks and then I was like exhausted. I still do 3 to 4 rooms in Clubhouse a week, but I do it in a way that works for me. The constant is the Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then I look at my calendar the week before and I plan out other rooms that I want to be in, that I want to train in, that I want to host. Okay. That's why I say consistency is personal. You have to look at what you're able to manage and what you're able to sustain and make sure that consistency for you looks in that way. If you're here and you're on a platform and can say hello to me, be sure that you wave at me, let me know you're here. If you are joining us after this session has concluded, be sure to type hashtag replay to let me know you were here. And if you have any questions, post them so that I see your questions, and I'll go across all the platforms and check and see what questions you have and how I can answer them. As a reminder, I'm live streaming on Facebook, on my Facebook page, in 2 Facebook groups, on my Facebook profile. I'm also live streaming on LinkedIn and YouTube, WendyY Bailey, and YouTube Profitable Coaching Conversations. So I'm a little bit of everywhere for this bonus episode, and I like it that way. Hello, Facebook user. Go ahead and give StreamYard permission so that I can actually see who you are. Right now, all I see is Facebook user. So thank you for joining me live. I totally appreciate it. I'm talking about how to create consistency that sells. And the first point I wanted to give is consistency is personal. You get to choose how you're consistent in your business. I will say that too many coaches are not consistent enough. When I say consistent enough, if you are doing, let's say it's a live stream, if you're live streaming once a month, you need to challenge yourself to grow that consistency, of that. So if you're doing once a month, challenge yourself to do 3 times a month. If you're already doing 3 times a month, challenge yourself to do 4 times a month. So once a week, right? It doesn't have to be the same day if that doesn't work for your schedule. You dictate what that consistency looks like. It's personal. It's personal. The second thing you need to know about consistency is consistency that sells is strategic. It's not you going live anywhere, everywhere. It's you recognizing very clearly that you are targeting a specific group in the marketplace. That's your ideal client. That's your customer avatar. That's your client avatar. However you've learned it, make sure that you know your ideal client, that customer avatar, that whatever that is, whatever you call it, you know them so well, you know the platforms where they're hanging out. I had a person who came to Clubhouse rooms with me. They still come from time to time, but we had a conversation on Clubhouse, and she was saying, I don't want to do one-on-one coaching. I'm a corporate trainer, and that's what I want to do. And I said, well, you're on the wrong platform, because I see you all the time on Instagram. You need to be on LinkedIn. It was the second time we'd had the conversation, and she said, you're absolutely right. I need to be on LinkedIn, and that's where my most ideal clients are. When you know your most ideal clients, you know what platform they're going to be on. If you are, your ideal clients are on Facebook, you know, because of the demographics Facebook will give you, you know if your ideal client is there. And you have to be strategic about how you reach your ideal client. 80% of the videos on the content on Facebook is video. Okay, so if you're not doing, hey Kelly, if you're not doing live streams on Facebook, you're missing out. Okay, and if it's a courageous, if it's a courage thing that you need to step into because you're not ready to be on camera, what I suggest that you do is pre-record some videos. Get them the way you want them. They don't have to be perfect, right? I did a live stream the other day, and for the first 2 minutes, I had muted my mic. So we're human, and it's okay to be human, right? So when you recognize that you may be afraid to be live, practice pre-recording some videos. And when you pre-record videos, you can upload them to Facebook. Doesn't get as much juice in the algorithm, but you're still actually sharing content. But your consistency must be strategic. You must be talking to your most ideal clients on the right platforms, right? That's how, hey Shani, good to see you. That's how it works. That's really at the heart of any digital marketing you do. You're focused on a specific and distinct client, your client avatar, your customer avatar, your ideal client. And when you know details about your most ideal client, you can be strategic in how you do it. It's also about making sure that you have clarity of the customer journey, right? The customer path. Like when you you post or when you go live, since I'm talking live, when you go live on a platform, you need to know where you want them to go next. So your call to action needs to be clear. You need to know the next step that you want them to take. Okay. That's the next step you want them to take. The other thing about consistency that's going to help you when you're focused on that strategic approach to being consistent, you understand that consistency builds trust. The more you go live, the more, since that's what I'm talking about today, but the more you go live, the more consistent you are with your email marketing, the more consistent you are with your posting on the right platforms on social media, the more consistency you have, the more it breeds trust. People get to know, like, and trust you because they can count on you to be somewhere doing something that adds value at a specific day and time. And whatever you need to do to grow to the consistency of more, like I said, if you're live streaming once a month, start live streaming twice a month. If you're live streaming twice a month, start trying to do once a week. Try to increase it over time and get to a level of consistency that you can sustain. Okay. And because it builds trust, your clients like to see you consistently in the same place at the same time as much as possible. Consistency also creates rapport and connection. See how I greeted people as they come onto the live stream? I know people not by Facebook user, but when they gave me their names, I was like, oh, hey, I know you. I do the same thing on Clubhouse. When I'm doing a Clubhouse room, I greet people. If it's a small room, I can greet people as they come in. I can look at the listening lounge. I can see who's there. If I'm on an IG live, it tells me who's there. I can actually wave at people on an IG live. All of that is about the rapport and connection you're creating. It's part of your consistency. One of the things that I do that is kind of an inside joke for me, I think it's cute. I introduce myself after I say the name of the show with my name. That's a WendyY ism. So your isms become part of what the rapport and trust and connection really creates as well. When you are consistent, you're also focused on adding value. I didn't come here just to chit chat with you. I came here to make sure I gave you some value, some actionable content, something you can walk away with and know better than you knew before you came into this live stream, right? So add value on any platform. Adding value means, yeah, you can post inspirational quotes, but what are your quotes? If you've written a book, take lines from your book that you can create, or your team member can create images that say your quotes, your words that are adding value in the marketplace, again, on the right platforms. If you are speaking, make sure that your focus is on adding value, giving people insight, a strategy, tips, points, making them understand by telling a really important story. Whatever that is, you want to make sure that your consistency is focused on value. The other thing I want to say about consistency and value is it's okay that you have just about 5 or 7 kind of messages that you speak from. The consistency of your message is important as well. Where people get to understand the depth of your value is when they ask questions or when you do hot seats, wherever you're live streaming, wherever you are. If you're doing some sort of coaching as part of what you're doing, it's important that people see depth in the value that you can provide. Okay, that's what I mean by consistency, focusing on adding value. It's first knowing that's the priority. It's not the technology that's the priority. I already told you I went live on Tuesday and was mute for the first minute and a half, 2 minutes. Didn't stop me. I didn't take it down. I didn't go, oh my gosh, that's terrible. People still watched it. People still got value from it, because even with the technology issue, they know to expect value that I'm going to share in my live stream. So don't let the technology get to you if something happens. Consistency also fosters engagement. When you are live, when you are adding questions when you're doing IG stories or you're doing reels or you're doing Facebook, whatever it is you're doing, you want to foster engagement. You're not just speaking to the camera. There are people on the other side that are watching, that are listening, that want to be part of what you're talking about. So ask questions and invite them to share their thoughts about it. No matter the platform, when you invite people to engage, they're really part of their own transformation as part of the value you're adding. Engagement is crucial if you want to lead people to conversion. Okay. I rarely use the term close, but when you're trying to close clients, when you're trying to move them from being free to being paid, engagement is crucial. It also, consistency also produces long-term success. One of my faculty members, who's a long-term colleague and friend, Tanya Smith, she's a video content strategist. She's been hosting lives and doing video for consistently every week for about 2 years. And on YouTube, she just crossed 1,000 subscribers. And I don't mean just like it took her a long time. I mean, it just happened, right? And the cool thing about the fact that she did that is it happened because of her consistency. It happened over a long term. It didn't happen in 2 weeks or 3 months or whatever. The things that you do today in your marketing, in your visibility, you won't necessarily reap all of the rewards of that, i.e. clients, for 3 to 6 months. People need to see your consistency. They need to grow to trust and like you. They need to engage with you and kind of see how you handle stuff. So any opportunities you have to invite people to connect with you through your marketing and visibility, and what I've been talking about throughout this time is live streaming and video, right? So when you are consistent in the way you deliver your message, the depth of content you're able to share, the value that content provides people, and their ability to engage with you and learn more and get more from you, you're creating long-term success. The consistency is what's driving that. So stay consistent. The next type of consistency is it creates invitation. You always want to look at opportunities to invite people to download your lead magnet, to connect with you via a short discovery call, to join and enroll in your webinar, to find you on other platforms and connect with you on other platforms. The more you extend opportunities for people to invite you, and they're not always paid, but they're also not always free. The invitation creates consistency because people get to know what kind of invitation they can expect from you. And a lot of times people will look at that and say, oh, she hasn't invited me to that before. I think I'm going to check it out, right? So consistency is also about invitation. Be sure that you mix the value that you're offering with an invitation. Every so often, you need to invite people to do something. You do that based on your marketing calendar. Every now and then, you invite somebody to join your mailing list and get your lead magnet. You need to express an invitation regularly to people. Not every single time you go live, but you need to make sure that you have invitations. Consistency also requires commitment. Remember, I talked about long-term success? Well, these two are tied together, commitment and long-term success. When you're looking at long-term success, you've got to make sure you're committed to that long-term success. That means, you start something and you don't stop after 2 weeks or 2 months or, 6 months. When I started my web TV show and audio podcast, I actually made a commitment to do it for 2 years. We just crossed the year mark in June, July. So we just crossed 1 year. And I'm committed to doing that. Now, have I had some hiccups along the way? Absolutely. But consistently over the last, I'm going to say 14 months, 15 months, something like that, people know that there's content coming from the web TV show. I'm sharing it one-on-one like this. I have guests that are booked through the middle of March. So when I talk about commitment, it means that you understand that it's not going to turn around tomorrow. Commitment means that you're going to share content. Sometimes you'll get on live streams and there will be no one there. So you've got to be the one to pay attention to your commitment. You've got to stay committed. Whatever you need to do to stay committed. If that means you do like I did yesterday, I couldn't do the bonus episode. I rescheduled it to today. Now that's jacking up my consistency because I usually am live on Thursdays. But the point is, I'm here this week. I didn't miss a week. So there will be hiccups along the way. As long as you continue to stay the course, stay committed to the consistency you've outlined, then you'll be fine. The last thing I'm going to say about consistency is consistency leads to impact. The more you add value, the more you serve people through your consistency, the greater the impact you're going to have. People will tell other people about you. People will want to work with you, not just in whatever they jumped in. They'll want to continue working with you beyond that. Consistency leads to impact. You're making a difference in the lives of the people that you are serving, right? Their businesses, their health, their wellness, their careers. So you've got to understand that. And more consistent you are, the greater the opportunities you have to impact people. So that's what I've been talking about today, is all about how to create consistency that sells. How to create consistency that sells. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and type #replay to let me know that you're here. If you're here and you have questions, go ahead and tell me what your questions are. I'm going to check the comments out. If I don't answer them while we are live, I'll definitely come back and answer them for you later. Thanks so much for tuning in and being part of the Profitable Coaching Conversation show with Wendy Y. Bailey. If you miss any episodes, you can go to profitablecoachingconversations.com and you can watch or listen to any of the episodes. They're usually brought current every week. So be sure that you do that. I am live streaming right now on my Facebook profile, my Facebook page, 2 of my Facebook groups, LinkedIn, YouTube Wendy Y. Bailey channel, and YouTube Profitable Coaching Conversations channel. So you can catch me on all of those places. And again, if you have any questions, it's a great time for you to ask your questions. Any questions? Consistency is, let me say this last thing about consistency. Consistency is really currency in your business. The more consistent you are, the greater the opportunities you have to serve your most ideal clients. It's how you sell. It's how people understand and can trust you and what you're offering. All of that is really about currency, right? When you value it as currency, consistency as currency, then what happens is you respect it in a way that says, I've got to honor consistency. I've got to always be consistent. Consistency is about being true to your word. Consistency is about, holding the space and being connected in a way that you have high integrity, right? Consistency is a currency. Any questions that I can answer? I see there are a couple people here. I think Shani, you're here. I think Kelly, you're here. You guys have any questions for me about consistency? Anything that I can answer for you? Any questions? Okay, thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate the opportunity to serve you. If you're watching the replay, type #replay. Let me know that you're here. And also, if you have questions, awesome. If you have questions, what's your observation, Shani? If you have questions, you can post them and I'll go through all of the different platforms and respond to you. What's your observation, Shani? I need to minimize what I'm focused on so that I can be consistent. Very good. Yeah, very good. Sometimes we think consistency means this, and consistency really means this, right? I don't talk about the 7 areas that I work on that represent my body of work. I don't talk about all of them at one time. I usually focus on one at a time. And my society, members of the society actually vote on the topics. I give them a poll and they decide what topic we're going to cover. So yeah, minimize what you're focused on so that you can be consistent. If you feel overwhelmed by the thought of being consistent, yeah, that's a great observation. Very good. So thanks everybody for being here. I will see you guys. Let's see. I thought about how I need to be more strategic with my consistency. This was helpful. Good. I'm glad to hear that, Kelly. Yeah. So tell me what your big takeaway is. I see Shania and Kelly have shared theirs. If you've made it this far on the replay, go ahead and let me know what your takeaways are for this. Thanks so much for being here. We'll be here next week with 2 more really powerful episodes, a guest episode and a bonus episode from me. Be sure that you join the Profitable Coaching Society. Check out profitablecoachingsociety.com to do that. Go to profitablecoachingconversations.com if you've missed anything. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for tuning into Profitable Coaching Conversations with WendyY Bailey. Be sure to join us at the after party at www.profitablecoachingsociety.com. We'll see you next time for more sales and marketing wisdom and insight from WendyY and her amazing guests. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you know when new episodes are posted.